Hey there again, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Dirt Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Eaton. Joined once again by my co-host, Andrew Hayes.
How's it going?
Good, man. So we're back up here at the ballpark, and we're joined today by Dragons catcher / utility guy, Michael Trautwein. Michael, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's good to be here. Let's get into it.
Good. Hey, so tell me a little bit about how this year's been going for you, right? So what's the season been like? What are some of the ups and downs? Just give us kind of an overview of how 2023 has been for you.
It's been good, man. You know, we're playing baseball. We got some talent on this team. It's pretty incredible, the guys around us. You know, we've been losing some games, some close games. We haven't quite had the luck that we've hoped for. But dude, it's a good team. We're fun. The clubhouse is awesome. Coaching staff is great. We get along. It's been a blast. It's good to be back out here.
Yeah, so you were here a little bit last year too. What's the main difference between last year's team and this year's team, you think?
I mean, teams are always going to be a little bit different when you have Ellie De La Cruz on it.
Yeah.
But you know, honestly, it's from like the clubhouse vibes, like the friendship stuff. It's kind of similar. Like we're pretty close. Guys are funny, man. We have a good time. We have fun playing. Bus rides are fun. Clubhouse is fun. Locker room stuff. It's you know, it's hard for me to have a bad time playing ball with these guys. So I'm really enjoying it. It's similar to last year.
Is there one guy down there that's just like the clown, where you're like, you know, if he walks in the room, it's gonna be hilarious?
Justice Thompson, easy, is the kid. Like, I mean, he's one of a kind. He's one of a kind. That's all I can say. I'll leave it there.
Probably a smart move.
Yeah.
So, you know, obviously we talk a lot about what goes on around at the ballpark, right? We ask a lot of guys, like, you know, tell us what your kind of day's like when you come in here. But we get a lot of people that'll ask us, especially these folks in the front office, is like, what's a road trip like, right? So everyone, you tell them it's a bus league, and they're like, oh, they're literally on buses. I'm like, yeah, you're literally, there's no flying here in this league. But tell us what it's like. Give us kind of like the overview picture, right? Like, what's a road trip like at this level with a team like this?
So you know, we're on the road for 6 days at a time, and bus rides usually come in here Tuesday morning, pretty early. Hop on the bus, get your breakfast, get everything settled, and bus rides are a blast. You know, we have. I don't know if you're familiar with Mafia. You ever played Mafia?
No.
Any ball player who's listening to this, especially one who's been on a bus ride, knows Mafia.
Okay.
But it's a game you play on the bus, and it's like, I'll try to give you a quick little synopsis. But basically, there's like two teams. There's like the Mafia and the townspeople, and your job is to like try to figure out who's the Mafia and vote them out. So someone narrates. It's usually me. I'm usually the narrator, and I'll pick who I want to be Mafia, who's the cops. There's a bunch of characters. Basically, it's like, you know, we could get 20 guys playing this game at one time, and we play this game for like 3-4 hours every bus ride, like there and back. Guys love it. It gets heated. Like, you'll have guys yelling at each other, just swearing each other out. You'll hear some crazy things on the bus playing Mafia, but it's so fun. And like, I think it's one of the things that brings the team together. I'm telling you, if you talk to any baseball player who's been on a bus ride, they have played Mafia.
So how do you win?
So if you're on the Mafia, right, the Mafia try to convince everyone to vote each other out, right? Everyone votes someone out at the end of every round. Mafia get to kill someone, which takes them out of the game. Like, there's a bunch of rules. But to win, like, the Mafia would have to get rid of all the townspeople, or townspeople have to get rid of all the Mafia. Okay. So like, either side wins. And like, as narrator, I would just like kind of like oversee it. So I'm not a part of the game. I just kind of like run it, and then, you know, I like tell a little story every day about who got killed the night before. There's a bunch of details.
So you're the only one that actually knows who's who, right?
Correct. Yeah.
This sounds like, I don't know much about it, but it sounds like the game, what's it called, Dungeons and Dragons, where there's like a storyline that one person like keeps the whole time. I don't know how it all works, but it sounds very similar, where it's like you have to make this situation come to life, and you have to have all these people buy into it.
Kind of, yeah. Well, it's not like so much a story. It's more of just like, I'll just like, you know, Mafia went out last night and killed blah, 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 blah. I'll give like a little like, usually say something about the kids, like, you know, where he's from or college, or try to make a little like mini story about it. It's
I mean, boredom is literally the mother of invention.
Oh,
here,
yeah,
right?
yeah, dude. It's. I'm doing a poor job of like explaining it, but it's the best game ever, and everybody loves it.
It seems like if everybody gets into it, right?
Yeah. We'll have like, we had a game last bus trip, like 16 guys, I think.
Oh, nice.
Right, so the whole back of the bus, everyone's sitting there. But yeah, so the rest of the road trip, besides Mafia, we every morning, kind of the pretty slow. You just kind of hang out at the hotel. A lot of guys. We have gym buses a couple days a week, so we'll hop on a gym bus, go lift wherever the other team sets us up. Sometimes it's like their weight room, sometimes it's YMCA. But for most part, we kind of just hang out, play some cards, talk, watch movies, sleep. A lot of guys sleep for a long time.
Like continental breakfast here. I mean, we
Yeah,
go down,
continental breakfast.
hitting the waffle
Heck yeah.
bar up?
So yeah, the continental breakfast, which it's not always the great. It depends on where we are. Like some places have,
I would imagine.
some places have like breakfast spots close by, or we're downtown in a city and there's coffee shops, places to go. Some there's nothing for like 3 miles, so you're just kind of like
out in the middle of nowhere.
you got. I think 90% of minor league baseball players are Dash Pass subscribers, so they get the DoorDash going. That's always I always rip the DoorDash, but yeah, pretty slow, and then get to the field at 1, 2 o'clock, whatever it is, and regular day, workout, game, come home, go to bed, pretty much. Not much happens after the games.
So you mentioned, obviously, like this hotel becomes your home for like 6 days at a time. Mm-hmm. Who gets to decide, or how do you choose who you end up like rooming with? Like, do you get to say, like John, when he has like too many chili dogs, like barking spiders all night long, like I'm not doing that, or like so-and-so snores, or how do you guys choose who rooms together?
So you get to pick. We have a little sign-up sheet. Most guys just live with the guys they live with here. You kind of just stick that roommate. Some guys are good roommates, some guys are not great roommates, but you kind of figure out, like, if there's guys who like to wake up early, some guys like to room with guys like that, some guys who like to sleep in. So I like to think I'm a pretty easy roommate. I wake up a little early, I might be a little loud, but I try to be a good roommate. I think they'd call me that.
What do you guys do in your downtime? I know you mentioned like cards and stuff too, but like, do you ever go out? I have to assume a lot of these places aren't like vacation destinations where it's an awesome tourist place to go around
you're
in
right.
Beloit, Wisconsin, or
You
wherever.
You got the John Deere plant.
Yeah, like
Cedar
that's what I'm
Rapids,
saying.
Iowa.
Like, I'm sure every town has
Only
its
toured
own
that
little
so many
like
times, though.
I don't know, kind of like hole in the wall bars and stuff like that you can go to and just kind of like at least see the city or see friends that you have in the area or something. Do you guys ever do that, or is it pretty much just strictly like back to the hotel, play cards, listen to music, do whatever?
No, it's there's definitely like you go to restaurant, bar, whatever there is, and some places have, like Peoria had. We're right on the river, and we literally stayed like next door to this massive Bass Pro Shop. So half the team is like, "Oh, we're gonna go fishing." Like, I've never caught a fish before, so of course I go. JT takes me over. I buy a fishing rod, and we fished for like probably like 6 hours. I didn't catch a single thing, not even like close. No one caught anything. We had like 8 guys on this little river. Nobody caught anything. Like 6, literally, we all went and bought fishing rods. Every single person.
Were you guys like in the Illinois River fishing, or were you like a little tributary or something?
It was like the Peoria Lake River,
okay.
Something like that.
It wasn't like the big massive riverfront river.
No.
Okay.
And I don't know if there was fish in this lake, or if they were, they
That's
weren't.
the excuse at this
They
point.
were-
Like,
yeah.
clearly, they
They
brought us
weren't
somewhere where
hungry.
there
Water,
weren't
yeah.
actually fish. Otherwise, they would have caught them.
They weren't hungry if they were. But like that's like that's an example. Like places have stuff like that. We go to like Lansing. There's Michigan State, so a lot of people have friends in Michigan State. Like Ben Scooter last year, he had a bunch of people we knew, so he was taking us to places, restaurants, places like that to go. So it really depends on the city, but for the most part, like if there's something to do, guys will try to do it. If there's not, then you just kind of kick it and wait for the game.
Do you have a
basically.
favorite city, like that's one of the frequent road trips?
I love Lansing. I do like Lansing a lot. I have friends in Michigan State, so I know people there. I go see them. It's like a cool little downtown. They have a great little. There's like a market right outside of the field. So like if the food's bad that day, you can just pop over and grab some food. Like, it's one of those places. Nice. I liked what else? I like Davenport. I think that's Cedar Rapids, right? No. Cedar Rapids.
Over in Iowa.
No, that's Quad
Cities?
Quad Cities, yeah, Davenport. You're right on the river there. It's pretty cool. Like, walk by downtown. Really, it just depends on like, if you're closer to downtown, it's usually more fun than if you're away. Like Fort Wayne, we stayed like miles away from anything, and it's just like
Yeah.
It was freezing cold. Last year it was freezing cold, and you're like,
I'm not walking
3 miles
outside.
from anything. You're like, what am I going to do here? So
I spent the last 3 hours outside of the baseball game. I
Yeah.
don't need to walk any
Exactly.
further.
So what about like when we see you guys, getting on the bus or whatever, like everybody's got their, headphones in or whatever and they're listening to things. What is in your headphones if we see you walking around in headphones? Are you like a podcast guy? Are you like a music guy? What is it?
Music always. I listen to a lot of different music, but it'll normally be some like indie rock, alternative rock, or like classic The Beatles kind of. I love Grateful Dead. I love Todd Naskadoff's got me. We've been jamming Pearl Jam together. He's a huge Pearl Jam guy, so he's getting me up to date with them, sped up with them, which is fun. But yeah, music always.
Does anybody have just like the weirdest taste in music down in that clubhouse where you wouldn't expect it? Where you're like, you see them coming in, they're like mean mugging, they're ready to go, and then it's just like shake it off in like the headphones. You're like, what? Are you, what? Yeah,
I think
guilty pleasure.
I think there's a lot of guys
Judge
like there's a lot of guys who just like I don't like the house music stuff, or I don't like it. Like I like it in like certain like spots. Like we just win a game, or we're hyping up for a game, or you're at a party or something like that. Sure, house music, but like
Not at 4 in the afternoon.
guys
after
rolling up
busy.
to the
sit
field
there
at
and, like-
noon, and like they're listening to that. I'm like, what are you guys doing? People would probably say that I have a weirder music take, just because I like I said, indie rock, like soft rock. I love songs, like
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Like when we were kids and it's like the Buzz Ballads CD commercial comes on at like 3 a.m. where it's like Creed and
Oh,
like
yeah. Yeah, like-
Default and all those guys, like the one hit wonders, and it's like yes, that's what I think of. I'm the same way. I have a really weird eclectic taste in music, everything from like old country to screamo and everything in between. You're like, what is this iPod playlist you have? Don't judge me.
Nothing's weird. It's music. Like everyone's got their little thing. So that's the cool part about it.
Yeah. So, you talked about the teammates and the culture down there. Like, obviously the bus trips, those seem like they're a pretty good time. Road trips, you guys spend a lot of time together. What makes, you've been through a lot of different clubhouses, right? You played in high school. You went to Northwestern, played a few years there. You played for a number of different teams here since you've kind of gotten into the minor league circuit. What is it that makes like a good clubhouse, in your opinion?
For me, like, I just think it's like guys who are like, you kind of understand that you are with these guys like all day long, every day. So you get really close to guys in professional baseball, which is what I think is probably like the coolest part about it. So when guys are just like willing to just talk and hang out and have some fun, and you'll have guys who want to lock in and listen to music and be on their phones or whatever, and that's fine. But like when early in the day and when we're on the field doing BP and stuff like that, guys are just kind of messing with each other, talking trash, having fun. Like that's the fun stuff, and that's what I think gets guys close and really puts some chemistry together. Like playing games or cards or whatever you want to do in the locker room, and then ping pong table or competing in whatever it is, kind of gets guys close, which is cool. It's fun to be a part of.
Does any of this change at all? Like you're on a road trip. I know you're saying like everybody's in a good mood, everybody's having fun on the bus. Like does it change when you drop 3 out of the last 4 or something, or you just come off a tough loss? Like I know it's got to affect it a little bit, but is there a part of you guys that's like, don't let this just be a complete Debbie Downer for all day or 2 days or something? Like you got to bounce back because you got 66 home games, 66 road games to play.
Definitely. We lose a close one, or a lot of times guys have bad games, and it's baseball's weird because you can win 20-0, and your buddy next to you went 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts. Like, right. So he's, as great as it is to win 20-0, like you can't shy away from the fact that like someone had a bad day. So you try to be respectful, and like especially after a close loss, or we drop a couple in a row, or we're just kind of getting beat. You're just like, all right. There's definitely some feel involved where people kind of just chill a little bit. You don't want to come off a big loss and be laughing and everything, and guys don't do that because we want to win, and I think that's a misconception with pro ball is like we do want to win, like we want to win games. It's more fun to win. You play better when you're winning. So I think there's like a period where, like you said, like you don't want to we also play 140 of these games, so you don't want to let one ruin your relationships or vibes for a week. So there's usually like a little period of like, all right, hey, think about the game, kind of go over what's going on, be upset, and then 30 minutes later it's like, all right, flush it. Let's forget it, move on. We got one tomorrow.
That's an interesting caveat I've probably never really thought of too much before, where you're right. You could win 20-0, but if your buddy right beside you went 0 for 5, it's like the other, head of the coin of minor league baseball is, yes, you're on a team and you want to win, but you're trying to, for yourself personally, make it up the ranks. And it's like, yeah, there's a really weird, like, you could have a situation where, oh yeah, personally, that was a really bad day for the team, good day, and you have to balance that a little bit. I could see that being a fun thing to navigate sometimes. Yeah.
It's definitely, it's the other way around. You could go 4 for 4 with 2 homers, and team loses on a walk-off, and it's like,
you're kind of happy because you had a great day.
Game.
You're like, oh yeah, this is
great game.
You're just like silently pumping your fist over there.
How mad can you be when you have 2 homers, right? So it's, but you want to win, and you have to be respectful to guys, and it's we're a team. We want to act as a team, and there is some individual success and failure in baseball, but for the most part, we try to keep it as a team and move that way.
It sounds like you're kind of saying, though, most of that's done with your teammates, right? That's not necessarily a product of the coaching staff. Like, I think a lot of people have experience like in high school or whatever, right? And in high school, it's just you and your buddies, and you all lose, and your coach is like, you should be upset, versus here, it's like, seems like you guys at this level probably kind of handle your own business a little bit more than having to get coaches and that kind of stuff involved.
Definitely. And our coaches are great about it. Like, they know it's a long season. They know that losing one game is not going to be the end of the world. And if we drop 3 out of 4 or whatever, that's like, hey, like, let's do something about it. But 3 out of 4 is nothing in the end of the season, right?
Yeah.
We're going to win 4 out of 5 another time, and it'll all even out. But they're good about it. And again, like, guys are mature now. We're these guys
sort
are
of mature.
Sort of. Well, yeah. I don't actually want to say
maturing.
Mature is not the word.
Let's put a little caveat.
Mature is not the word, but it's they take it seriously, and again, there's kind of an understanding where, hey, we're gonna act as a team. The coaches are gonna try to push that, but they don't necessarily need to, because I think guys kind of understand it here.
Yeah. What so kind of switch the script here, or the topic, I guess, a little bit. We talked, before we hopped on the air here today. Went to Northwestern. Good. First of all, I'm guessing you're probably one of the smarter guys out there, right? Did you sneak in at the bottom of Northwestern?
Humble, yeah.
Or were you
if there was like a math competition, yeah, I'd probably do pretty well.
You're crushing the math stuff.
But intelligence is relative sometimes. I'm one of the, you could call me the dumber kids, like, when it comes to, like, just being an idiot. I love being an idiot,
But you're a book smart idiot.
Yeah, right. I can do math, but I'm an idiot.
Right. That's not a bad way to go through it. It looks like you're having some fun with it.
It's a perfect, like, blissful way to go through life. Like, if I need to be smart, I can, but I don't want to, so.
Got it. So, for folks who maybe are listening to this on their phones, they don't have the, the benefit of the visual if they're watching on YouTube. It's like, you've got some good hair flow going on here. You got a sweet mustache, right? So, like, if you haven't, right, look up Michael on our Facebook page or on our website here. But this wasn't you all the time, right? This is a somewhat over the last couple years sort of development here. Like, what's the development of the flow that you got going on right now?
Yeah. So, I was pretty clean in college. Like, I was like I had this clean, shaved face, short, the standard haircut, just like, I don't know how to describe it. Just think of like a guy's haircut. That's what it was, you know? And
you look like you could have very easily gone into the Marines.
Yeah, like it was like I could go Marines.
Like
I could go. Look like Brad. Yeah, basically. So, yeah, and then I had long hair when I was in high school for a little bit, and my last year at Northwestern, I was just like, all right, I'm gonna grow it out a little bit, and the wings started coming out of the hat, and I was like, all right,
I like those.
It's looking good. That. It's curling up a little bit. I'm getting some locks, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna let it go. So I let it grow out long, and I just loved it. So I was like, all right, I like this long hair. The mustache was, so when I was in college, I could grow a beard. We weren't allowed to have beards, but I could grow one. We were for a little bit. Anyways, but I couldn't grow a mustache. So I get full beard coverage, no mustache, and I look like an idiot. So I would just let my mustache grow to have it catch up so I could have this full beard. Eventually, after months of not shaving my mustache and just shaving my beard over and over again, it kind of like, I was like, hey, I kind of have a mustache, and mustaches they'd kind of been like the cool thing, you know. This was, I don't have a Miles Teller like, you know,
right, yeah,
Top Gun mustache.
He
like,
did a lot for
he did
that.
a lot for mustache, but we had a different
really
style mustache, you know.
Yeah.
His is, I'm going for more of like a a fuller look than his.
Yes.
This is kind of like the thin one. But stashes were picking up, and I was like, I kind of like this look. I felt like it made me look like cooler, so I was like, all right, I'm rolling with it. And I've had the stash since. Haven't shaved it in like a year.
So are we wearing aviator glasses and, you know, second career as a fighter pilot kind of thing, or is
No, see, I'm going for more of like the musician mustache.
Okay,
you know?
yeah.
I'll throw on some John Lennon Sungees and you know.
just want people to kind of wonder like what's behind
what's this guy,
behind the facade? What's
this
he
guy
got?
thinking about, you know?
It's like
You
a
know?
like a
Is this guy's
busker.
a musical talent?
Like, people don't think I'm a baseball player when they see me on the street.
Do you have to
know
try
what
to
I'm saying?
convince them? Is there like some sort of a business card you can produce?
No.
I swear, look, it says right here I
Yeah.
got drafted.
They're like, no, you're not.
No, no,
Throw this bit.
you play lacrosse.
Throw this
Yeah.
orange. Let me see how hard you can throw this.
Yeah, no, it's a. I'm like, yeah, you know, if I mention I play baseball, like, oh, okay, well, I wouldn't have guessed that, but okay, cool. I was like, yeah, all
Wasn't
right.
planning on that
Thanks.
as a response.
Like,
yeah.
okay, thanks, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. So you're big on music. You obviously you got the musical kind of like look going on as well. Do you play music?
I play the guitar. That's pretty much the only thing I play. I can play a little piano,
Okay.
little bass, but music family. So I like my whole family, all music. Brother is a musician. It's just like job. He actually runs a record label or a recording studio in Athens, Georgia.
Okay.
He's a sick musician. Like, you name the instrument, he just picks it up and shreds.
Just doesn't even have to think
Yeah,
about
it's
it.
unbelievable.
Second nature.
It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Just makes you angry. You're like, I have to try.
Yeah, dude, it's like,
Learn.
but it's nice because I'll be like, hey, like, you know, I can listen to a song and be like, oh, I like this song. You know, look up how to play it. There's nothing out, right? It's a new song.
Yeah.
Call him, hey, listen to this song. He goes, okay. Calls me back 10 minutes later. He's like, all right, you want to know how to play it? I'm like, yeah. Teaches me everything. Like, it's perfect. Like, he can just listen to something.
Just got the tabs
Oh
right
my
there
God,
for you. He's like, here you go. Yeah.
Dude, he's a robot. It's crazy. Little sis, kind of, she's like becoming the same way. Like, she's you know, freshman in college now, or just finished her freshman year. But she's a, you know, really good guitar player, really good piano player.
Yeah.
Sings a little bit. My dad's a really, really good piano player. So it's like, music's kind of I'm the least musical in my family, put it like that. But we love
Are you
music.
better at music or at math?
Probably math, which sucks. Like,
That's not the cool
I
answer.
wish it wasn't
that
math.
certainly isn't the coolest
Yeah,
answer.
no,
you've
I
ever
wish
had.
it wasn't math, but it's probably math.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I might not be good at math
So,
anymore.
and then the other side of your family, like you've got, I think your dad played Major League Baseball, got up to Major League Baseball. You had a uncle, I think, that played minors. Grandpa played minors, and then I think you got some cousins that are playing right now. So very musical and very baseball-centered family there too.
Yeah, whole family. Pops and my grandpa were both pitchers. And then I have a cousin now and my uncle was a pitcher as well. Cousin now who's with the Nationals. So he's shortstop, actually played in college with him. And my other cousin, his brother. All three of us played together my freshman year.
That's cool.
It was a blast, yeah.
Is that what got you up to Northwestern because you grew up in Georgia, right? Okay.
So, my dad went to Northwestern. I grew up a Northwestern fan. I didn't, like, when I was going through the recruiting process, I didn't necessarily want to go to Northwestern. Like, I kind of wanted to do my own thing, and I was, like, a diehard Northwestern fan growing up. But it was like, hey, like, do I want to, you know, my cousin was there. My other cousin was going there, both to play baseball. So I was like, all right, like,
This could be cool.
it'd be really cool, but I'm like, I'm going to be the fourth fan. Like, I feel like I'm just, like, you know, the follower. But then one day I was like, you're an idiot. What are you talking about? That's going to be the most fun you've ever had in your life. So, and it was, like, my dream school. So I was like, yeah, what am I doing? Like, and it was literally like that. Like, my decision was, like, I woke up one day, I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, what am I thinking
Going
about?
to Northwestern.
Yeah.
And I committed that day. And it was the best decision I ever made. I absolutely loved my time. Getting to play with my cousins was, like, the coolest thing ever. They're, like, my two best friends, too, now. So it was the coolest thing ever. I loved Evanston. I didn't love the weather.
I was gonna say some of those March games. You're like,
Yeah,
why
that was-
didn't I stay in Georgia? What am I thinking?
Yeah, so I always mess with our so my head coach Spencer Allen there, when he recruited me, I went on a visit. They took me up in, like, August. It was like August 10th, right? And because I was like, you know, they were like, hey, we'll get you up before football game. And I was typically go to a football game, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, like, whatever. Like, I don't need to see a football game, I guess. And I go up, and it's like 75. It's Chicago. It's sunny. And I'm like, this is the greatest place on earth. And
hadn't been through a Chicago winter.
Yeah,
yet,
right.
It's like being catfished. Yeah, it's like hey, all of our recruiting is going to happen late summer, early fall. We're not bringing anybody up here in these 4 months.
And it's like one of those things, like, you know, like right now we'd be like, it's not that bad when you're cold. Like, you know, you just throw a jacket on. But then you actually get cold and you're like, what was I thinking? This is awful.
I don't want to be here.
So I was like, it's going to be cold and like whatever, but you know, baseball's in the spring, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I get there and I'm like, yo, like this is cold.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, we were playing a game, it was like May 25th and it was 48 degrees or 50 degrees, and I'm playing a game. I'm
supposed to be
it's like our
warm
last home game of the year and it's 50 degrees, and I was like, dude, this is insane.
Yeah. That's like our perspective here, where we'll have games in April and it'll like snow flurry. And like, man, this is miserable. But then you think of like, there are teams in Wisconsin that are playing right now too. Like we're not the worst. Like northern Michigan,
there's
and
just
places
snow
like
flurries
that.
versus 3 inches of snow on the ground.
No.
Yeah. Legit snow out.
Besides the weather, dude, like Northwestern was the best decision I've ever made. I had so much fun. School was tough and challenging, but it was like worth it, and I felt like I really got something out of it, and I loved it. Like I would go back and do it again every single time.
I think a lot of people that went through college are like, man, I would, especially as you get a little older, right? I'm in my 40s now, and I'm like, man, I went through college twice for 2 separate degrees. I'd go back in a heartbeat.
I had it so good.
Don't rush through that whole 4 years thing. You don't have to go through in 4. You can take 6. It's totally fine. Might cost you a little more, but it's great.
Yeah. Well, hey, we appreciate you coming by. Before you go, you mentioned something a minute ago. We got something for you. So.
Oh, what we got?
Oh, the honors playing this out.
Okay. All right. What do you guys want to hear?
Beggars can't be choosers here, so we kind of put you on the spot.
Whatever.
So.
I just hope Andrew tuned that a little bit before you got
I
going.
did tune it. Now, it could have fallen out of tune since
it's quite possible.
I did tune it before
that
we
doesn't
came
sound
up.
too bad. Chili peppers, huh?
Hey, you can tell too. Plays because he didn't just start strumming. He was like, no.
That would be me. I was like, oh, it's what, 3 chords, right?
Yeah,
that's all we need.
What's a good one I like to play?
All right.
Hey.
Anything else?
There we go.
Awesome. Well, thanks for stopping by, man. We appreciate it.